Muslim women of the Sokoto Caliphate. This, my friends, is a story most of you would never have heard of. Between the 15th to 18th century in modern-day northern Nigeria existed a land known as Hausa land, which was a collection of independent states called Hausa states. Each of these states had their own king, and though nominally Muslim, Hausa land was still very much deeply entangled in its pre-Islamic customs. In the 18th century, a Fulani Islamic scholar by the name of Sheikh Uthman Dan Fodio called Hausa land and its kings to embrace Islam in its entirety. Swathes of the peasantry responded to the call of the Sheikh, but not so much the kings of the Hausa states. The king of the Hausa state of Gobir had enough of the influence of the Sheikh and so planned to assassinate him, calling him to his royal court, pulling out a pistol and planned on firing upon the Sheikh. But as the king fired the pistol exploded in his hand, making it clear that something now had to give. Between 1804 and 1808, Sheikh Uthman Dan Fodio led his men in a war against Hausa land and its kings, eventually defeating the kings and establishing the Sokoto Caliphate. The consequence of establishing the Sokoto Caliphate was that many reforms and changing of attitudes had to take place, and in particular, the changing of attitudes in relation to women. Hausa land was deeply embedded in patriarchy, but under the Sokoto Caliphate, Sheikh Uthman Dan Fodio lambasted the traditional treatment of women by men, making it a priority of the Caliphate to educate its women, with the honour of this duty befalling upon his daughter, Nana Asma'u. As the Sokoto Caliphate was expanding, more and more people were embracing Islam, and there was a desperate need to consolidate Islam at a grassroots level. And so Nana Asma'u, an Islamic scholar herself, pioneered a system to educate the women of the Sokoto Caliphate. Nana Asma'u would directly train and educate women who would be known as judges and equip them with poems and rhyming stories that would educate the reader on the lives of the prophets and awliya and in the basic tenets of Islam. These teachers were collectively known as the Yan Taru, and they would travel throughout the Sokoto Caliphate and visit the homes of women, providing them with their own personal Islamic education. The Yan Taru were required to wear a malfa hijab, which was a balloon-shaped hat made of straw with a red ribbon tied around it that identified the respected status of these women in society and served as a powerful symbol for the right of women to be educated in the Sokoto Caliphate. The struggles and efforts of Nana Asma'u and the Yan Taru sewed Islam deep into the fabric of the Sokoto Caliphate and today in northern Nigeria. But Nana Asma'u is not an exception. She is part of a rich lineage of female Islamic scholarship that was in existence long before her, that stretches back to the Middle East and West Africa. At the time of Nana Asma'u's death, according to her brother Isa, grown men were crying and no one was left untouched, not even the animals. But the legacy of Nana Asma'u is very much alive today, with the Yan Taru still in operation in northern Nigeria, with movements spreading out into the United States, pushing forward the message of Nana Asma'u, a message that was driven by the God-given right for women to be educated, and to deny them the opportunity to develop their talents was an offense to the will of God for his subjects.